Is today Luka Vuskovic Day at Brighton? Chelsea are continuing club-to-club talks with Rayo Vallecano. Xabi Alonso says he wants Enzo Fernandez to stay at Chelsea. Manchester United have completed the signing of Andre Santos, and Manchester United are not ruling out signing Ederson. Here are your daily Premier League news headlines. Welcome back to the channel to another edition of the Daily Premier League News Headlines, where we go through all the latest news, rumours and reports. My name is Lee The Dorset Spur, and if you are watching on YouTube, please like, comment and subscribe to the channel. If you're listening on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. So let's get into it. Here are the main stories today. So today is Luka Vuskovic Day at Brighton. Medical and signing of his contract until 2031 are scheduled. Brighton's dream signing is set to be finalised today. Transfer fee of around €53 million plus €5 million in add-ons. Tottenham have also secured a 20% sell-on clause. The deal was negotiated by super agent Lee The Zerbi and his team. That's according to Sky in Germany. Chelsea are continuing club-to-club talks with Rayo Vallecano for Xavier. Chelsea were led to believe in a bid in the region of £12.8 million, €15 million would be enough to secure the left-back. However, the Conference League finalists are believed to now want closer to 21.3 million, €25 million. Chelsea are not willing to overpay for the 28-year-old and feel the goalposts have been moved during their negotiations. The Blues do, however, remain interested in the player. Xabi Alonso says he wants Enzo Fernandez to stay at Chelsea and has confirmed there is interest in Garnacho. Fernandez has been linked with a move away from the club, although Real Madrid publicly denied their interest in the midfielder. Speaking at his first press conference on Wednesday since becoming Chelsea manager, Alonso said he wanted Fernandez to be part of his squad and added, "We have spoken, but that remains private." Meanwhile, Garnacho did not take part in Alonso's first training session this week, and Sky Sports News have previously reported that Chelsea are prepared to sell him for £50 million in the summer. Is one of the wingers Roma are interested in signing this summer, according to Sky in Italy. Alonso said the situation is that we have spoken with the sporting directors and there is an interest for him from other clubs. So let's see how this develops, but hopefully it finishes in the best possible way for all parties. Manchester United have completed the signing of Andre Santos from Chelsea for £50 million. The agreement is broken up into a guaranteed £48 million payment plus £2 million in add-ons. Chelsea also retained a 10% sell-on clause. United announced the signing with a video of the Brazil midfielder wearing the club shirt. In a 6-second teaser, Andre Santos says, "To be honest, since I was young, I dreamt of this moment." Santos becomes the first signing with Michael Carrick as the head coach. Manchester United are not ruling out signing Ederson this summer despite a breakdown in the deal over a medical issue. United denied the deal was off on Sky Sports News last week following reports, and although it will not progress in the initial price and structure, the club may come back to signing the Brazilian later in the window. Aston Villa do not want to sell Tielemans, but they have no choice. Why would Aston Villa want to sell Tielemans? They don't want to sell. They have got no intention of selling Youri Tielemans. However, they have been hamstrung slightly because of the part of his contract contains a release clause, which we understand to be around £36 million, with Manchester United are prepared to pay. This one is going to accelerate and has been accelerated since Belgium were knocked out of the World Cup by Spain this last week. And since this has happened, Manchester United have put the wheels in motion. And when you have a release clause and a club is prepared to meet it, the kind of deal can move very, very quickly. And that is the look. That's what looks like is happening now. Liverpool boss Andoni Iraola says his team need more players as the club continues to work on incomings behind the scenes. The Reds have already signed winger Victor Munoz and will welcome defender Jeremy Jacquet into their ranks, but Iraola insists further additions are needed to make them competitive in his first season in charge. Speaking in his first press conference, he said, "Obviously we have signed 2 players already, but we need to have more players. We know this, the club is working on this. Me, as a coach, selfishly, we want the players here from day one to train for pre-season. But we know football doesn't work like this. The club is working hard to get those signings." So, just some thoughts on these stories. Well, obviously, the Luka Vuskovic one is the one that piques my attention the most. £50 million for a 19-year-old who hasn't played in the Premier League and hasn't played for Tottenham sounds like good business, with a 20% sell-on clause as well. But it just feels a little bit, what if? Lots of fans do want to see young players coming through the ranks at Tottenham Hotspur and are reluctant to let some of our best assets go. However, Tottenham are in a situation where they need ready now players to complement the youngsters we've got. So some youngsters are going to have to go, and it seems that the hierarchy at Spurs do not believe that Luka Vuskovic is going to be ready anytime soon. It just shows you, because Brighton clearly do seem that is the case. So one of those teams is going to be found out, and they're going to be wrong. So it'll be interesting to see how this one pans out and whether he becomes a really, really good player. But if he does and he goes for big money somewhere else, then Tottenham will always get a lump of that money. So silver linings, I guess. The other one that kind of piqued my interest a little bit is this one about Aston Villa and Yuri Tielemans. The report is suggesting that because there is a release clause and Manchester United are prepared to pay the release clause, then essentially Aston Villa don't have any say in it, and he could basically just go. Which is interesting when you consider that last summer we did exactly the same with Morgan Gibbs-White at Tottenham, and look how that worked out. So I don't think it's as simple as this report suggests it is. Villa do not want to sell Tielemans, but they have no choice. Why would they want to sell Tielemans? Well, they probably don't. He's a decent player. And if Manchester United are interested, that suggests that he's still got a good way to go within his footballing career in the Premier League. But I'm not so sure on this issue of you've got a release clause and it makes it all simple. I don't think that's the case. I think there's a lot more to be said around that. So we'll see how that works out, because if they don't want to sell him, I wonder if they'll get hold of Mr. Miriakis and find out what he had to do to make sure that the player signs another deal. But yeah, interesting. And of course, Andoni Iraola saying that his team need more players. That is crazy, isn't it? Football. It just shows you that it doesn't matter how much you spend each window. You will always need to keep building and keep developing that squad, because if you don't, you get left behind. And this is the issue that Tottenham have, where if all those years ago that we didn't invest in the squad, and we've kind of been tinkering. We've basically been playing catch up ever since. Keep changing managers, keep changing philosophies, doesn't help. But yeah, Liverpool spent an awful lot of money last season, ditched their manager after winning the Premier League, so he only got 2 seasons. Let's see how this works out for them. But always looking to improve the squad. You have to keep freshening it up. You have to keep buying and moving forward. You cannot afford to stand still, and you cannot afford to be nostalgic if you want to compete at the top level. Anyway, that's it from me. So thanks for watching and for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're watching on YouTube, please like, comment and subscribe to the channel. If you're listening on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. I'm Lee The Dorset Spur. If you'd like to pop over and say hi on my channel, I'd be more than grateful to have you over there. If not, don't worry. I'll see you on the next one. And as always, up the Spurs.
Bye.